is out. Can it get over the top of Anderson?
Get over
Tracks all the way back in.
It
Does. And he's locked in, but what a goal!
Inundated. So popular.
Well, it's a very good afternoon here from the State Basketball Centre for Game 4 of our prime time live streams for the 2018 National Junior Classics. Coming up today at 1:30 p.m. is the Under-18 Boys Gold Medal match between the Melbourne Tigers and Kilsyth Cobras. Steve Chalmers with you, and I'm joined by someone new in the commentary box for this game, Darren Perry. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure. It'll be an interesting contest, I think.
We're about 5 or so minutes away. Introductions still to come as well. Let's take a look at some of the lineups and, of course, how these two teams made it to this very game to compete for the gold medal. We'll start with the Melbourne Tigers. They were placed in Group A. They defeated the Sydney Comets 82-39. Will Tattersall had 17 points in that one. They knocked off Woodville 81-44. Josh Giddy led the way with 15. They defeated Keilor 75-51 to round out their pool game. Mason Gaze had 20 points. In the playoffs, their quarterfinal win was against Sturt, winning 70-48. Will Tattersall 18 points leading the way. And of course, to make it to this very game today, they knocked over Hawthorn 56-46 in the semi-final, with Josh Giddy having 15 points. For Kilsyth, they were in Group C. They were undefeated as well in the pool stages, knocking over Canberra 59-62, defeated Dandenong 53-51, and Sturt 66-62. In the quarterfinal, they knocked over Woodville 56-50, and they defeated the North Bears 60-53 in the semi-final. As introductions get underway, Darren, is there anyone in particular across these two teams? I know you know them quite well. Is there any players to look out for across the course of the contest?
Look, I think you've mentioned quite a few in the scoring for Melbourne. They can have any one of 4 or 5 guys to lead their team. It just depends on how the game's going, what opportunities present. Similarly, I suppose probably a notable absent player today is Ben Barra for Kilsyth. He has been scoring well and playing well for them. The scoring coming from Kilsyth is likely to come from Bowater, Spicer, McDonald. But they're going to be up against it against a pretty tall and athletic Melbourne side.
Well, it's great you mentioned Ben Barra there. You can see him on camera in the crutches just being announced now. He's obviously injured himself either in the semi-final or in the lead-up to today's gold medal game. He was averaging 11.4 points per game throughout the tournament, second most for the Cobras, so he'll be sorely missed. For the Tigers, Will Tattersall averaging 13.5 points per contest this tournament. Josh Giddy at 12 points per game. For Kilsyth, you mentioned Harry Bowater, 12.5 points a game, and Riley Spicer will have to increase his output with 11.2 points per game. As we can see, the two teams lining up after their introductions. We're only about 3 or 4 minutes away from tip-off. Kilsyth and Melbourne, we welcome all our Melbourne Victorian viewers. Of course, we also welcome any interstate viewers, and of course anyone watching around the globe. We've got two Victorian teams battling it out for the Under-18 Boys Gold Medal Grand Final. Let's take a look at some keys to the game. Melbourne in Under-16s were here last year. They've been here before in the Grand Final, and there's been a couple of valuable players in this team that can use that experience.
Well, I think so, and there are quite a few that played in the national tournament. 3 guys out of their team played at the Nationals, and there are also some emergencies on that squad as well. So, they're used to playing in these games, used to winning these games. But, Kilsyth are also used to it. Zach Malt has coached quite a few teams in this age group and has had some great success with them. And I'm sure, even though he'll look at the lineup and say, right, we're undersized, but if Kilsyth are able to establish in defence and have a presence on the glass, it should be a good contest.
Well, it's great to see that you say undersized, because our second key to the game is extra possessions, and we've seen it throughout the course of today already that rebounding and especially offensive rebounding has proved important for the winning teams throughout today. You just look and have a brief look at these two teams. There's a clear and distinct advantage in favour of the Tigers.
Look, there is, and you know, the one guy that gets a lot of offensive glass is Will Tattersall. He's hard to deal with. He's quick. He has a good feel for where the rebounds are going. Obviously, Paul Sapatolis has got a significant presence in the paint. Both of those two guys will be keys for the Cobras.
And just finally, just some poise between both sides. Whichever team just matures a little bit, settles down quickly. We've seen it throughout the course of today as well, that there's been teams that get out of the blocks really quickly have been the victors and have been really successful. We saw it in the last game in the under-18 girls. Both teams really had some great poise on offense. It's really important in games like this.
No question. You know, establishing defense and establishing board play allows you to control the game to a degree. And the Tigers are going to want to play fast. They want to push the ball. You know, they're likely to come into the full court with some pressure. And it'll be up to the Cobras to start the game and establish that so they can get, feel like they're in this game.
As you can see here on screen, Dave Peters just giving his final words to the Melbourne Tigers. They've gone through undefeated so far this tournament. We want to thank our referees and congratulate our referees for today's game. Nathan Davis, Brittany Andriola and Mohammed Walipur. Certainly congratulate them. They've made their way through the tournament and earned themselves the right to referee and officiate the gold medal match of the under-18 boys. There's Zach Malt on screen speaking to the Cobras. What do you think his word is going to be just right before tip-off?
I'm sure his words are going to be, don't worry about them. You know, sure they may have players that they need to worry about. Play your own game, be aggressive and play the way you have to get to the final.
Well, we have it. Tip-off moments away. The Melbourne Tigers in the distinct red, Kilsyth Cobras in the black. We mentioned a couple of key players. Will Tattersall will be wearing the 14 for the Tigers. Paul Sapatolis, the 23. Harry Bowater, the 14 for Kilsyth, and Riley Spicer will be wearing the 6. So there's some key players to look out for as we are underway in the 2018 National Junior Classics under-18 boys gold medal game. And it starts off with the Tigers and Ethan House. And my apologies, Reese Bray. Sapatolis. Just tipped out, Tony Marchese. You mentioned pre-game, before the broadcast started, that he is very athletic and very electric.
Well, I think that, clearly, there's Giddy scoring on a drive, but they're clearly going to dig the ball out of the post against Sapatolis.
Here's McDonald trying to get straight to the rim to start us off. That one bounced out off the back iron. Gaze the rebound, and the Tigers quickly up the floor the other way. Here's Giddy. Great entry into Tattersall. That's an easy deuce after the great pass.
And that's what Giddy does for the Tigers. He'll see the floor and find open men.
Bowater. Now Marchese. Spin move, great spin move. Just too much mustard on the finish. Bray out and running. Giddy inside Tattersall. Tapped away, regains possession. Gaze open on the wing, that's no good. Giddy hustles, earns them extra possessions. It's exactly what we spoke about pre-game. It's going to be a key for both sides. Sapatolis at the top, out to Giddy. Now Bray. Giddy blocked.
Good block by Bowater.
Here's Marchese, mismatch. Sapatolis guarding. Didn't go at it. Bowater. Straight to the rim again, blocked by Sapatolis. Great defense. When we speak about that length of the Tigers, certainly going to be an advantage for them defensively. Right at the top, Hamish McDonald, Marchese. Trying to get to the rim at every possible chance. Great drive, nice finish on the left.
Needs to stay aggressive, even though that first shot missed. It was good that he went back to it again.
Bray, now Tattersall. Looks inside the gaze, decides against it, goes back to Giddy. Now Bray, back inside, Sapatolis. Turn and face. Right hook, now down to Tattersall. Great finish, great find by Paul Sapatolis.
Smart play by the big man. I thought he was going to shoot it, but he found Will.
Here's McDonald, open lane, quick hands, Paul Sapatolis. Now he's out in the open court. He's got Bray to his left, decides against him, goes himself. Great finish, Sapatolis.
Moves very well for a big man.
He certainly put that on display right there. Here's McDonald. Couple of fumbles, and that's out of bounds. Harry Bowater just fumbling that one.
So one thing about the Tigers, is even though they have advantages, they do share the ball well, which makes it really difficult for defenses.
So the Tigers jump out to a quick 8-2 lead. Exactly what Coach Peters would have liked. Here's Giddy. Running their action. Now Bray. Backdoor cut, weak side. Couldn't find Tattersall. It was a great find though, he was wide open. Marchese, other way. Drives again. Bowater for two. He's been fouled on the jump shot. He'll head to the line. Be good for the Cobras to get Bowater going early.
Well, if make these free throws and keep this game to a 4-point game early is going to be important, because if you lose scoreboard pressure, it makes it difficult. Just as we say that, he misses the free throw, but hopefully he makes the next one.
Always the curse of the commentators, isn't it?
Indeed.
Rims the second one in. Puts him on the scoreboard. And the Tigers would love to get out and run quickly. Tattersall, great kick out from Giddy. That's for three, no good. Sapatolis the rebound. You can tell the Tigers bench up and about. Body language at an all-time high. Sapatolis, long two, that's no good. That's probably not the shot you want if you're the Tigers. Sapatolis, foot on the three-point line.
They don't have any fear. They shoot the ball, they chase the ball. You know, we talk about getting those extra possessions. If you know you're getting it back, people are likely to keep shooting the ball.
Bit of early pressure from the Tigers here. Trying to trap the ball handler. Marchese breaks through, splits the defence. Pick here. There's Bowater, Marchese. Now with McDonald. Kicks out, Marchese. Three-point attempt. That's short. Great hustle, McDonald puts that one back in. Hamish McDonald, great effort on the O-glass.
It's probably the first time we've seen some offensive rebounding, which is going to be important for the Cobras going forward.
Sapatolis doubled down, kicks it back out to Bray. First time we get to see Shahal. As with Manton, now Sapatolis. Breaks through a couple of defenders. Little right hook, no good. 8-5. Kilsyth with possession. Bowater decides against, gets it back, tries the entry pass. Quick hands from Cheval. Great shot, Bray in the corner, 3 points.
Defensive transition with the Cobras. They didn't pick their guys up, left Bray open.
Here comes the pressure again from the Tigers. Weary pass, just pays off. Bowater picks. Got the mismatch now, step back, Sapatolis, too big, too long. Couple of blocks now for Paul Sapatolis early on. Very active on D. Here's Bray, had the open look, decides for a two. That's too easy. And they're forced the first Cobras timeout. 2:48 left in the opening term. It's 13-5. Loving what the Tigers are doing on offense.
Well, it's going to be difficult for the Cobras. They've got the screen and roll game with bigs like Sapatolis going to the basket. They've got to protect that, which is going to leave Bray open for that jump shot at the top, even though it ended up being an open one, and it'd be worse if it was an open Sapatolis at the hoop.
That's true. Zach Malt speaking to his troops, just trying to get the offense working, hoping to try and match the Tigers offensively.
They've got the ball on the floor a lot. You know, you saw Bowater try and take on Sapatolis, which looks like a good matchup, but if Paul's good enough to stay in front, then there's nothing left offensively. All the other guys are standing and watching. So hopefully he's talking to his team about moving that ball, getting some cuts, and that movement, even if the shot misses, allowed McDonald to get an offensive rebound on a couple of possessions previously.
Well, that's the real key, isn't it? We saw Bowater have Sapatola switched onto him. We thought that was a great idea. He went to the bucket, but as you mentioned, just a couple of guys standing around. He needs that extra help just to kick it out in case he does get into trouble, which we saw before. So Kilsyth, the inbounders back in. Marchese. Early pressure. Comes again. See Spicer for the first time today. Here's Bowater. Marchese. Has to be aggressive. He's looked the best for the Cobras early on. There he is again. Nice move. Doesn't finish though. Good save by Bray. Tigers out and running again. Manton. Now Bray. Picks from... There's a three on the way through Chinnock. Offensive rebound is Alfarenko. There's another offensive rebound. Second chance points becoming highly costly for the Cobras.
It's the luxury that the Tigers have. They give Sapatolis a rest, and Alfarenko's as big as him coming into the game.
That's exactly right. Mentioned pre-game about the size differential. He's going to play a big impact on this game. And it's already showing in this opening quarter. Bowater. Picks from Van der Vorm. Thought about the three, decided against it. Entry pass to Van der Vorm. Nearly tapped away, foul's been called.
The thing sometimes about offense is you might get a chance to shoot a three. At this stage, I think that might be an option that the Cobras take just to try to stretch the defense out, but they are switching and they've got long defenders, so take your opportunities when you can get them.
Here's Van der Vorm. Tries to get over Alfarenko and does.
Strong basket. Take him inside and go right at the basket. That's what they need to do, the Cobras. Establish some inside play. Manton
inside the Giddy. That's too easy. Great cut, Josh Giddy. Great find for the Tigers. Oh, and costly error here. Gives it up. Cobras give it up. Giddy puts it straight back in. They are the errors that they cannot afford to have. Marchese, long pass again. That's going to be cut off nearly every day of the week. Here's Alfarenko again. Used the body. Giddy strong on the offensive glass. Couldn't get it. Now there's a bit of a tangle up between Douglas and Manton.
Well, the Tigers have smelt a little bit of fear, I think, from the Cobras in terms of dealing with the full court pressure, and now they're up on all passing lanes, so now they have to re-establish getting the ball up the floor and getting a shot at the basket.
No, you're absolutely right, Darren. It's only the first quarter, but they smell blood already, don't they?
Well, they just, when you get a lead and you're hoping to blow a team away, get after them and see what errors that they make.
Here's Spicer. He needs to get on the scoreboard. Highly important piece for the Cobras. It's a nice move. Nice move by Mitch Douglas.
Important basket.
19-9 seconds, winding down in the opening term. Giddy. The screen's going to come from Alfarenko. Rolls to the basket, tries to find him, does find him. The foul has been called, and he's been called as if he was driving to the basket. Not too sure about that one.
It looked like he was catching it.
I tend to agree with you there. Certainly looked like a foul on the catch. But the first Cobras foul of the game ends in Alfarenko to the line. Julie salutes, makes both. 21-9, double-digit lead to the Tigers. What can the Cobras dish up in the final seconds? Here's Marchese. Finds Spicer in the corner for three. That one is good, and they count it.
It is a huge shot in the context of the game. If they go to the quarter 21-9 down, life is a lot different. 21-12, you feel better about yourself. I think it was a great push by Marchese through the pressure. Good screen at midcourt and finding the shooter 5 seconds, get a three. Hopefully that gives them a spur into the second quarter.
Plus the fact, not only do they make the shot to go to 12 points, they can just take that confidence into the quarter time break, come up with a bit of energy out of the second quarter, and hopefully things can turn it around for them. Certainly a big bucket, as you've mentioned. As quarter time arrives, just remember this broadcast Basketball Victoria Facebook live stream brought to you by Molten and MySport Live. Head to molten.com.au throughout the course of this tournament and get 20% off using the code NJC18 at molten.com.au. Darren Perry, what have we liked from the opening quarter?
Well, I've liked the fact that the Tigers have moved the ball. They've found cutters going to the basket. They've found their post players. They have the advantage on the interior, and they've got that score ticking over. Hopefully, from a Cobra's point of view, they dare the Tigers to start shooting more perimeter shots, but they've got to come up with the boards, and that's going to be their challenge. But look, 12 points to 21. It's still a game, and the Cobras need to try and establish their defense in the second quarter. Absolutely.
Offensive rebounds are a great thing to have for the Melbourne Tigers. They've got second chance points coming left, right and centre in the opening quarter. Have liked the look of Tony Marchese from the Cobras. Been very aggressive early on and making sure he's getting his teammates involved. And here he is, ball in hand, gives it to Harry Bowater.
He's made 2 nice spin moves, and if he can just manage to finish those, the game could be even more interesting.
Here's Bowater. A little bit of a mismatch on him, trying to get to the rim, kicks it out. Spicer. Now Douglas back to Spicer. That one's no good.
There's good ball movement. They got a good shot out of that. It's good signs from the Cobras.
Here's Giddy, picked from Tattersall. Alfarenko decides to go the other way. Giddy, nice shovel pass into Tattersall, collects his fumble, puts it straight back in. Tattersall's up to 6 points. Here's Spicer. Kicks back out Marchese. Douglas. On his own, nothing untoward coming. Now the picks come for Spicer, blocked heavily by Chinook. Another great defensive effort from the Tigers. Can they get out of this backcourt pressure? Here's Shahal. Giddy just gets it over. Tattersall, now they're away. Chinook. 3, no good. Alfarenko, offensive rebound. There's another one. Loses it this time though. Marchese away. Good D by Giddy. Nearly forces the turnover. Now the Cobras allowed to get into their sets. Bowater nearly travelled before getting it to Marchese. Picks coming. Gets to the rim, kicks it out. Douglas blocked. Tattersall. It's been a few block shots down the Kilsyth end, hasn't there?
Look, there has. I have to commend the Cobras for being aggressive. They still have to play that way. They just have to be mindful of the length of the Tiger defense and being able to get their shots off.
Spicer for 3, 1 second on the shot clock off the baseline play, and they've got an extra possession. Here's Galway, kicks it out to Spicer. Bowater picks up his dribble a little bit too early. Thankfully Marchese was there. Handoff, Bowater thinks about the 3, decides against it. Now tries to get to the rim, kicks it back out. Marchese in a little bit of trouble now, the Cobras. That's much better. Gets it inside. Galway. Nice shot.
Tough shot under pressure, and that's what they needed.
They probably spent 15 to 20 seconds of that shot clock, not too sure what they were doing, but the final 4 seconds was excellent, finding a good shot.
And they got an offensive rebound, kept the Tigers on defense for that extra possession, and that's what they need to do. Just keep getting hustle plays, extra possessions.
Here's Bray, tries to find cross-court Giddy for 3. That's a great look. Giddy wide open. He's up to 7 now. Marchese. Picks come from Galway. Clogging the paint a little bit are the Tigers. Foul's being called. Bowater's shot will be waved off.
Well, Marchese is getting into the lane and finding people for shots, or at least making the defense have to close out on those shooters, which may give driving opportunities for his teammates. So he's doing a good job.
It did seem a couple of times that the Tigers were sagging back a little bit, expecting Marchese to drive. But then, as a result, having to close out. There you go, Harry Bowater for 3.
That's what he likes to do, catch and shoot 3. They've got to keep attacking, keep trying to draw the defense in, get it to the shooters.
Here's Giddy, he's great off the dribble. Great defense by Marchese, Tony Marchese. Stripped him straight away. Giddy round the back, tapped it out of his hands. Now they're going the other way, Tigers chance. Giddy straight to the rim, doesn't bounce in for him, and the Cobras have a chance just to settle things down, try and get a good possession. Big screen by Tommy Galway. Sapatolis tries to block Marchese. Marchese rims in. That's a nice move, Tony Marchese. Use of the body was outstanding.
Staying on the attack, tough shot. But you may as well stay aggressive in this game.
Gray blocked. Blocked by Galway. He's had an interesting couple of minutes.
Yep, blocked onto the back of Bray on the way through. Cobra ball. We had a good chance to cut this lead on this possession.
Absolutely.
Stay with the momentum of the game.
Ethan House checks in for Riley Spencer for the Cobras. Here's that early pressure coming, gets out of that. Here's Bowater. Good move to get round Giddy. Here is House. The little scoop didn't go down. Big opportunity, goes begging. Tattersall quickly moving the ball up the floor. Gaze for 3, that hurts the Cobras. Mason Gaze, first 3 points of the game. There's Galway, uncontested for Hamish McDonald. He just waltzes in, gets the rebound and puts it back in.
Did a great job, pushed the ball, found the man under the basket, but then got the offensive board.
Here's Giddy, tries to find Mason Gaze. That's a great back cut and a great finish. Pressure's coming again. The Tigers really hustling in that front court, aren't they? Back court, I should say. There he is, Tommy Galway again. He's up to 4 points. And
He's playing a good game for the Cobras.
Very good last 3 to 4 minutes, both ends. Tattersall tries to find Giddy cutting in. Now finds him in the low block. Post move, Giddy. Tough finish. That's very well done.
Yeah, for a guard, he's got great size and take his shorter counterparts into the post.
He's up to 9 points, Josh Giddy. May have gotten away with a walk there. Did Hamish McDonald. But he's got 2 points for his efforts.
He took that advantage and made his nice little left-hand hook.
Game certainly starting to increase in the tempo, up and down now. Here's Giddy. It's a good second quarter for both sides. Game certainly getting into it. Sapatolis, great move. Now kicks it back out to Giddy. Giddy one hand to Shahal. Step in, 2 points. Great decision making.
Yeah, the Cobras, they did a good job of dinging it out of the post. Shahal made a good up fake to get open.
Subs coming in for both teams. We've got just under 2 minutes of the opening half. Under 18 boys gold medal game of the 2018 National Junior Classics. Thanks for your company on the Basketball Victoria live stream with thanks to Moulton. McDonald. Here's Bowater. Short corner jump shot. That rattles in.
It was a good aggressive play. You know, had a little bit of room. Quick pull-up jumper. He's got the room. Take your opportunity. Went while you got it.
Giddy, closely guarded. Cheesy switches. Here's Alfarenko. Trying to work his magic. Giddy, tough finish. He's great under the bucket, isn't he?
Yeah, nice 6'6" guard. Lobs over the shorter guards who are defending him. It's hard to defend.
Absolutely. Doing his thing in this gold medal game right now. Bowater for 3. That looked good from the commentary position.
That shooting's keeping the Cobras in touch.
He's up to 9 points, Harry Bowater. And the Cobras within 7. Manton, Alfarenko, Shahal. Now Bray for 3. That one's short. Manton right there to collect extra possessions.
Good aggressive rebounder, Manton, for his size. He gets his hands on all sorts of basketballs.
I believe son of AFL, ex-AFL player Glenn Manton.
Correct.
Essendon and Carlton is Archie Manton. Timeout on the floor. Melbourne lead Kilsyth by 7 with just under a minute to go in the opening half of the under-18 men's gold medal game. If you're looking at improving your coaching performances, whether you're a beginner or you are a true professional, Basketball Victoria's Talking Split podcast is a new initiative designed to provide all coaches with the tool and a greater understanding of some of the hot topics. Join our team, Rob Coulter, Justin Schuler and Mike Zeppel, as they delve into the issues requiring greater focus and discussion beyond what is generally covered in a standard X's and O's session. Jump online and search Basketball Victoria Talking Split to start listening today. Been a guest on the podcast yet, Darren?
No. Listened with interest.
We'll have to tee that up. Certainly have some wise words to say.
Melbourne, it'll be interesting this timeout for Dave Peters. They've threatened to push this lead, from 10 to 12 to 14, but Kilsyth have hit their jump shots, made their defensive plays, got their extra possessions. If they can get a stop and a score going into the half, the game is definitely alive.
Just the 7 points as Melbourne inbound this back in to close this second half. Here's Bray, Shahal, Chinook, Bray for 3. Rims out. Spicer. Haven't seen too much of Spicer. Needs to get into the game a little bit more. Probably needs to play a couple of minutes as well if they're looking to provide some offense. Bowater, he's been providing offense. There's another 3-ball.
Well, it was probably not a great decision to go down and double team the post, leaving the guy who's just hit the last 2 jumpers open for another one.
12 points, Harry Bowater. Now good trap here. Probably needed that second defender to come. Had him in the right position. Here's Manton. Inside Shahal, nearly left alone. Kicks it back out, Bray. New clock was winding down to the half-time. Got it off, was nowhere near it. Kilsyth up and about. You can hear the fans behind the commentary position certainly liking what they're seeing, not just from the Cobras, but also the Tigers, because the Tigers lead by 4. Darren Perry, the second quarter. What's some analysis?
Well, I think that there was some pressure in that second quarter. The game went up-tempo, and it looked like it was suiting the Tigers. The Cobras have managed to settle. They've got a little bit better movement on their offense. They've got some second shots. They've got open for some jumpers, and they've made some shots. In any of these contests, you get your opportunities. You've got to knock your shots down, and Bowater has definitely been that spark in the second quarter for the Cobras.
12 points to Harry Bowater at half-time. Hamish McDonald has 6 as well for the Cobras. 11 points leads the way for the Melbourne Tigers, and that's to Josh Giddy. 5 points, Mason Gaze and Reece Bray. Will Tattersall has 6. Haven't seen too much of Tattersall across the first half. Just keep your low profile ready for the second half.
Well, I'm not sure that that's how he's planned it out, but I think that clearly the Cobras have been trying to close the lane down. On one of those possessions, Apatolis looked like he was near the hoop. All the Cobras came in and dug the ball out. Now they ended up scoring on that possession, but that's the clear objective, is to keep him out of the paint, or at least make it as difficult as possible in there. And that's probably why the opportunities have come more for the guards than they have for Will Tattersall in the first half.
I certainly think, without knowing, Tattersall was probably a point of interest for the Cobras going into this game, knowing how well he's been playing, not just throughout the tournament, but throughout the year. And obviously they're doing a very good job just closing it up inside with just the 6 points, as we are only just moments away from kicking off the second half of Game 4 of 4 for our Basketball Victoria live stream.
Important quarter. Kilsyth have done a great job to stay in this game. Playing a solid third quarter now in the lead up to the fourth is going to be critical.
Absolutely. The championship quarter, as some call it, the third term, just a 4-point ball game. It could be interesting to see the swings and roundabouts and which way this third term will go. Melbourne kick us off. Tattersall kicks out to Bray. Swings to Gaze. Gaze for three, short. And that defensive possession brings a lot of noise from the crowd. Bowater. Cheese. Picks from Van der Vorm. McDonald back to Bowater. Melbourne just starting in that zone. Cheese for three. That looked good from the commentary position, just back ironed.
It's a good open three. Has to take that shot.
Be interesting to see if the Tigers stay in that zone for the next couple of possessions.
Well, I think they've figured out that the Cobras are hard to deal with on a man coverage, and they'll see if they can use their size.
There's Bray, Gaze. Now Tattersall stuck in the corner. Sapatolis, post move. Doubled, nearly triple teamed. Strength, doesn't get it up. Tattersall collects the offensive rebound and is fouled going back up.
It's one of his great strengths is to be around the offensive glass, get those extra opportunities. Cobras have been doing a good job of keeping them off the boards the last probably 10 or 12 game minutes.
You can certainly see some of the size just starting to come into effect, especially in that possession. Sapatolis, Tattersall, Gaze with his length from three. Tattersall salutes, makes both. It's a 6-point game in favour of the team in red. Spicer. Probably looked at shooting, decided against it. Here's McDonald. Cheese splits the gap, splits the defence, kicks it back out. McDonald. That's a better look. Runner is too long. Now the Tigers out and running. Gaze, cross court, Bray. Couldn't get a proper handle on it. Ball swings around, back to Gaze's hands. And they reset. Now Tattersall on the wing. Inside. Gaze just couldn't handle that one. Sapatolis out in the three-point line. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's Bray. Straight to the rim. Great pass fake. 2 points.
Yeah, sometimes in broken play situations, they've played good defense for most of the shot clock. And then you open a lane up late. Bray ended up taking advantage of it.
Sapatolis overreacts on defense. Nearly opens it up for the Kilsyth Cobras. Cheese. Spin move. Kicks it back out. Spicer. Spicer for three is short. Sapatolis. Big rebound. Now they're out and running again, the Tigers. This is what they like to do. Gaze, Bray. Now Chinook inside the Tattersall. Back out to Bray. He'll command traffic. The little head fake. Back out to Tattersall. Wide open for three. That's short. Good offense, though, by the Tigers there.
Yeah, it was settled. They got an open shot. Tattersall is capable of hitting those.
Oh, it's a lazy pass there by McDonald. Tattersall eats that for breakfast. Gaze, now Bray, inside Sapatolis. Hard to handle down that low. Too strong, though. He'll be unhappy with that finish. Bowater. Need to see him get going in the third term. Just try and eat into this deficit. Cheese. Thought about the three, steps into a two. That bank shot wasn't pretty, but it works.
He'll take it. A lot of pressure on that shot. Gave it a little bit more juice than usual, but it worked for him.
Here's Tattersall back the other way. Chinook. Nice little high ball. That wasn't the best of end results. And if Kilsyth can score here, that's a foul called coming from behind. And as we mentioned, a 6-point ball game now. Kilsyth just hanging in there.
Just need to keep getting good shots against this zone. And if they can make a perimeter shot here, that might blow them out of that zone. That's what they need to do, is get them out of this wide zone.
McDonald nearly got away with a moving pick there. In my opinion, Cheese kicks to Spicer, now to Bowater in the corner. That's what they like to get, and that's the result. That's his 4th 3 of the game, Harry Bowater.
They keep finding the right guy. The Melbourne zone should be aware of him. They obviously weren't on that occasion.
Absolutely. Here's Giddy back on the floor. Manton, Shahal. May have been a long two. Giddy, just so long, athletic on the offensive boards. Puts it straight back up, earns himself a trip to the line.
Yeah, the Cobra defense are doing a good job forcing Melbourne onto the perimeter, making them shoot from there, and if they can't make shots, that allows them to just stick on that defensive glass. Didn't get Giddy on that occasion, though.
There's Giddy, no fuss at the line. Just gets him up, makes the first. And the second. They've opened back out to a 5-point lead. Here's McDonald. May have been in a little bit of trouble. Spicer thought about the 3. No one baited. Marchese tries to drive inside, just lost the handle of it. It's not a bad idea, though.
No, he's had success with it in this quarter, and he needs to keep doing that to find the shooters.
Alfarenko out to Manton. That one's no good. Bowater just lost it. Good save there by Van der Vorm. Important stuff that in the 3rd quarter. Here's Spicer. Marchese had the 3, decides the long 2. Probably not the best option.
An open jump shot. Kilsyth got to stay aggressive, but I'd be trying to find Bowater if you're the Cobra's offense at the moment.
Absolutely, he's up to 15 points. Great backdoor cut by Alfarenko. Great find by Giddy as well. They're working in tandem, aren't they, the Tigers? Spicer, Van der Vorm decides against going to the rack. Just pulls it up. Work through some offense. Marchese, Bowater, that's the player. McDonald, poor pass. I think all 5 Tigers players picked that one. And they've turned it over eventually anyway, the Melbourne side, and Bowater's back with the ball. Thought about it, goes back to his point guard in Tony Marchese. Van der Vorm. Tries to go at Alfarenko. Van der Vorm gets his own turnover back, puts it in, and the foul. The first phase of possession wasn't great from Lachie Van der Vorm, but the second phase was a hell of a lot better.
Well, he's finding now that the Melbourne zone is spreading so far towards the shooters, he's almost got man coverage when it goes to the center of the zone. Yeah, he worked hard. He had a nice up and under move and then got his ball back and put it in. Important free throw here. If he can cut this to 4, it'll make this run into 3/4 time. A chance for the Cobras to close it, to evens.
Well, that's right. And you go back to the final shot of the first quarter where Riley Spicer hit that 3-pointer at the horn. It was 21-9 or something, and it could have been, and it was 21-12. Super important. They came out of that second quarter with a lot more confidence than they did that first. Here they are. Kicks out. Manton. Bit of push and shove. Cheval, it's a travel. They've picked up a travel on Manton. And the crowd here is starting to make some real noise at one end, and that is the Cobras end.
No perimeter shots made for the Tigers means that now the Cobra defense can close out short and expect the penetration. They're playing a good strategy at the moment.
Some new looks. Douglas back into the ball game for the Cobras. Here's Bowater. Still in that 2-3 zone, the Tigers. Marchese tries to do a little bit too much with the ball handling. He's coughed it up. Giddy, so long, makes the bucket and is fouled. Giddy out in transition. It's very hard to stop.
Yeah, it's always hard to stop a turnover against a zone. The guys at the top run out quickly, and Giddy's a good finisher. There wasn't much Bowater could do on that one.
Josh Giddy's up to 15 points himself. As Reece Bray checks back in for Archie Manton. Unable to convert the and one opportunity. And here we go, Douglas finds Van der Vorm, out to Bowater. Decides for the 3-pointer, just a little rushed.
Well, if I'm if I'm Bowater and I get a look, I think I'm taking it the way he's shooting the ball this afternoon.
That's true. Alferenko makes 2 down the other way just to give themselves a margin again. That's 8 points.
It's funny how quickly leads can blow out with the Tigers. They get 2 good options right next to the basket.
Marchese for 3. No, decides against it. Set to Bowater. Back to Marchese. Bit of 2-man action. Van der Vorm posting up. Doesn't go to him. Bowater, it may have been his 3-point opportunity, has been reached in by Josh Giddey.
Well, it wasn't a great foul with 3 seconds on the shot clock. He was dribbling into traffic, but sometimes that's the way things go.
And as you see on screen there, Dave Peters just had a quick word to Josh Giddey, telling him exactly that. Fresh count for the Cobras, potential to go 2 for 1. Decide against it. Marchese for 3. That one's good. Exactly the type of impact play you need to get going in the closing stages.
Important basket.
Margin back to 5. Final possession, game clock and shot clock by about half a second. And guess who? Alferenko has just earned himself a trip to the line, and the points are good.
Cobras have been doing a great job of keeping all those opportunities, those catches right at the basket. They've been really solid through that quarter, and they've let Alferenko twice now in the last minute keep that Melbourne Tigers scoreboard ticking over.
Just been super strong in the last minute, Alferenko, as you mentioned. Just a mental breakdown the last couple of minutes. They thought that they're going into the 3-quarter time huddle with about a 4 or 5 point deficit. Could go either way. It's been called a block. And they'll be shooting free throws as well, with Kilsyth in the bonus.
Giddey has got an opportunity to put this back out to 9. And we were looking at it a couple of, maybe a minute and a half ago, that it was 3.
That's exactly right. You mentioned how quickly leads can just blow out. This is exactly the evidence of it. As Alferenko and Giddey convert opportunities. 5 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. What can they muster up? They'll now have 1.7 seconds out of the inbounds. Do the Cobras. Spicer. Oh, it wasn't great.
Long arms of Tattersall. It looked like it was open, but he managed to get his hand in there, and he's taken another second off, so now makes it hard to score. 0.4 of a second. And
now it's extremely hard to score. Van der Vorm did an excellent job attempting to score, but just fell short, and we still have a ball game on our hands. It's 9 points. It was 4 or 5 just moments ago, but the Melbourne Tigers lead Kilsyth 53-44. If you're Zach Molt, 3-quarter time, what's the key messages?
I think that he's going to be telling his team that to be now 9 down going into the last quarter against the Tigers in the Classic Final is still a place that they would like to be. Obviously, you'd be telling them no easy entry passes, the way Alferenko scored his last 2 baskets of the 3rd quarter, and those offensive rebounds. Chahal got that rebound off the free throw, and that allowed the Tigers another possession. It's going to be vital in the last quarter to minimize all of those and make some serious stands on defense and make some shots. Be aggressive. Go for the win.
Oh, some leaders in these two teams. Josh Giddey has 17 at 3-quarter time. Michael Alferenko has worked himself up to have 10 points. It was super important in that 3rd term. Harry Bowater has 15 for the Cobras, while Tony Marchese has 9. It's a 9-point ball game for the Tigers. These next couple of minutes are super important.
Well, that's right. You want to get a couple of good stops. If you're the Cobras, you want a couple of good stops and a couple of scores, because you want that thing close. You want a 4 or 5 point game coming down the stretch. If the Tigers get that, though, if they get their stops and scores and it goes out to 12, 14 points, makes it a long way to come home.
It's great to see the fight back from Kilsyth, though, especially early on. We mentioned that they had their ego up and about. The pressure was really high and intense. It was probably double digits really early on. Just the fight back from the Cobras in the last couple of quarters has been really good to see.
Well, that's how they've played their entire tournament. A team that's had to survive overtime wins, come from deficits to get wins. They're exactly in the same spot they've been in most games, so they'll still be playing to win this game, no question.
Just witnessed a massive block there by Josh Giddy as Kilsyth now have 5 seconds left on the clock to get something up. Spicer's in a little bit of trouble. Marchese gets something up as a shot clock expires. Giddy did happen to grab the rebound.
Yeah, the Cobras got caught in the corner, couldn't get out of there, couldn't get a good shot off.
8 minutes away from declaring the 2018 National Junior Classic gold medalist for the under-18 boys. Shahal no good from deep. They've got to hustle here, the Cobras. This is what they can't give up, offensive rebounds. And they've done exactly that. Great hustle there by Hamish McDonald.
And that's the desperation you need in these games. You've got to get on the floor. You've got to make sure you get the possession. McDonald did a great job.
Some more pressure being applied from the Tigers. They got a little bit of a false press happening back to their matchup, which is interesting. Here's Bowater. Found a mismatch on Shahal, but just couldn't get the muscle to go with it to get to the bucket. Bray inside Tattersall. Kicks back out. Alfarenko. Free throw line jumper, that's wide open.
He made a serious impact coming into the game in the third and is continuing in the fourth.
Certainly has, up to 12 points is Michael Alfarenko. Kicks here. Turns it over, does Tony Marchese. Tigers going the other way. Giddy, now Bray, jump shot. No good, hustle again on the glass. And the little man has come up with it, Tony Marchese. Spicer, what can he provide? Marchese, got to get to the rim. Nice find, nice look in there. Tommy Galway.
Great pick and roll. Easy basket.
It's exactly what the Cobras need to find. Just open up the Tigers' defence, probably for the first time in the last 5 to 10 minutes.
The Tigers have gone back to the man. It opens up the floor a little.
Giddy, that was probably more a rush shot, but guess who's there to just clean up the boards? Michael Alfarenko.
Well, he'll take credit for that. I think it was a combination of both the defender and Michael tipping that ball, but it went in.
Potentially a wayward pass there by Riley Spicer to McDonald, but it paid off. Galway, he's providing impact in this fourth quarter. He's up to 8 points, Tommy Galway.
Been really efficient. He's only got a few touches, but he's made them all count.
Here's Bray, out to Tattersall on his own. Giddy crosses over, goes into the lane. Nice little shovel pass in between to find Alfarenko. Just couldn't finish. This is the Cobras' chance. Bowater, good D by Bray. Marchese, Spicer blocked by Giddy, that length again. And he goes back and gets it. Excellent closeout there. We've spoken about Giddy's length for a while. It's just put Spicer off a little bit there.
Yeah, got a piece of his shot, and it was huge in that possession. And a nice pass.
Shahal, that one's short. 9-point ball game, 4.5 minutes left. This is the time Kilsyth needs something to get going. It's not that one's there through Marchese.
No, it's good help by the Tigers, a wall of defenders.
Gray kicks out to Shahal for 3. That would really put a nail in Kilsyth. That's a big time 3. Puts that one back out to double digits to 12-point ball game.
We've just found that the Cobras are probably getting tired. They've worked hard in this game. Tony Marchese is trying to create some play, did a nice job on that pick and roll. But the defenders are now coming. They're all got long arms, and the Cobra receivers are going to have to try and find angles to get the ball to be kicked out. And they're obviously open, but he can't seem to find them.
And as the time dwindles away in the fourth quarter, the defenders seem like they're getting bigger and bigger as they're getting more tired.
Well, that's the thing, you know, now with this timeout, really important to get a score coming out of this timeout and try and re-establish some offense. There's still time. 4.5 minutes is enough time. It'll make it difficult, though, if the Cobras don't get a couple of scores coming out of this timeout.
And for Melbourne, time certainly on their side. They can wind down the clock every offensive possession, make sure that they're getting great looks. Just 4.5 minutes left in this game.
I'm sure that's the message that Dave Peters is giving his team, so it'll be surprising. Although, you know, if they make a play and they've got a transition opportunity, I'm sure they'll take it. But you're right, the clock now becomes important.
Great sign for the Melbourne Tigers as well. They can give Michael Alfarenko and Will Tattersall a rest and probably not lose too much while they're out on the floor. Here's Bowater. That was actually a great take to the rim by Bowater. Just a little bit unlucky that the ball fell out of his hands at the final moment. Spicer. Cheese. Thought about it. Decided against it. Picks come from McDonald. Spicer. That's a 2. It was short. It was contested. It probably wasn't the best look.
The Tigers defense have stepped up in this fourth quarter and they haven't allowed anything easy.
That's a great move by Giddy. Just wasn't to be. Sapatolis cleans it up though. Just the ease that Giddy got into the paint there certainly helps Tigers left, right and centre. McDonald, Cheese. Bowater. Kicks come from Galway. Bowater kicks it out. McDonald. Wraparound. Galway blocked, but there's a foul. Pryor, and he'll head to the line.
Yeah, Manton came from the weak side, got up nicely to block it, but Giddy hit him on the way up. Important free throws, you know. They're going to need both of these and then come up with some defensive plays.
That's absolutely right. They'll need these two and then some. Tom Galway certainly been an impact player for the Cobras today. As you mentioned, not too many touches, but been very, very efficient. Splits the pair. He's taken his tally up to 9 points. Gray up to Giddy in the corner. This is where they'll start to use some time. Giddy, wraparound, Shahal, down picks. Manson, that never looked good. Shahal tries to save it, wasn't a chance.
Well, the Cobras are going to have to play quick. 3 minutes and a 13-point deficit. Hopefully, they try to get their shots up within 8 or 10 seconds, 12 seconds of the shot clock, just to get enough possessions in this game to try to get this game done. Well,
you see they just injected a little bit of extra speed. They checked in Van der Vorm for Galway, as they were unable to convert on that offensive attempt. And here's the Tigers, Sapatolis, Manton, cross court Bray. Now the picks come. Here's Bray taking on all the defence. Kicks back out, Giddy. Free throw line, great find to Shahal underneath the bucket with 1 second left on the shot clock.
Heartbreaker, right at the bucket, 1 second left, but great vision by Giddy.
Great cut by Shahal just to give Giddy an option inside the paint. Cheese, nice jump shot there. Takes him to 11. 13-point ball game, 2 minutes left. Time is running out for the Kilsyth Cobras.
You might have anticipated some full court pressure, but maybe that the fatigue is also there for the Cobras.
Sapatola short corner jump shot is good, and the Tigers are running away with this gold medal right now. 15-point lead to them. Bowater. I think kept relatively quiet in the second half.
Yeah, I think that after he hit those threes in the third, the Tiger defense has made sure he doesn't get too many opportunities. He's still working hard though, evidenced by that offensive glass.
Absolutely. Certainly some adjustments had been made in the Tigers camp. A timeout is being called to the Kilsyth Cobras. 66-51, the Melbourne Tigers lead in our grand final gold medal live stream on the Basketball Victoria page with thanks to Molten. Get 20% off all basketball products at molten.com.au today and throughout the tournament using NJC18 as the discount code. Go to molten.com.au. Any key players in this game that certainly stood out to you throughout the contest?
Oh, look, I think Giddy's influence has been significant. You know, when the Tigers needed a little bit of a spur, he managed to get them going sort of second quarter, got some catches right at the basket. Then, you know, even in this last couple of minutes, he's managed to find people who were open very late in shot clocks. He got, you know, down the floor in transition and made his layup and made his free throw. So he's been key for the Tigers. And I think, you know, Bowater has had a significant impact for the Cobras. But I guess as things go, when you've got a defense like the Tigers, they can still throw bodies, you know, fresh bodies into the lineup. As a shooter like Bowater, I'm sure his energy level has probably been worn through.
They just keep coming at you, the Melbourne Tigers. You can even tell by some of the body language with just under 90 seconds left in this game. Some of the Tigers look fresh, and you can look at some of the faces on the Cobras. They've had a long weekend. That's
right. I mean, even the ability to play a lot of those guys throughout the games in the tournament. The legs are still fresh come grand final time, and the Cobras they've obviously lost Barra for this game as well. So sometimes it's hard to keep that energy going all the way through to the finish.
Hamish McDonald put that one in for two to make it a 13-point game. We're less than a minute away from crowning the Melbourne Tigers as 2018 National Junior Classics Under-18 Boys Champions. As they throw that one away. It's been great to have your company throughout this game and potentially throughout the day if you joined us for any of the other earlier games, or if you're across on the VJBL Facebook page as Riley Spencer puts that one in for two. Just eats into the deficit, back to 11. First time we get to see Justin Bond for the day. As Marchese just pokes his arm in there.
The other drama for the Cobras is that's their first team foul, so it doesn't even put the Tigers to the line to potentially get a miss and get the ball back. And that's just the way the game has gone.
Yeah, certainly the foul game is well and truly out of the question. As we wind down here with 20 seconds left to play. Presentations to follow after the conclusion of the game, where they will award the gold medals and also the game's most valuable player, so stay with us for that. As you can hear, some of the Melbourne Tigers faithful up and applauding the Tigers for scoring the 2018 National Junior Classics Under-18 Boys Gold Medal. We'd like to congratulate the Tigers and also Kilsyth, because they've had a fantastic tournament as well. But it was the Tigers' day on this occasion, led by none other than Josh Giddey. He had 17 points. Harry Bowater led the way for Kilsyth with 15. But it was an outstanding contest. As I mentioned, presentations shortly. Craig Freeman, our sideline reporter, will have a chat with the Tigers coach potentially post-game, so stay tuned for that. Darren, it's been a pleasure to have your company as well. Some brilliant analysis coming your way, so thank you very much. We thoroughly enjoy you having you on the broadcast.
It's great to be here.
And there we are on screen, the Melbourne Tigers just lapping it up and enjoying their time as 2018 champions. Just remember, you're on the Basketball Victoria Facebook live stream thanks to Molten. This will be your final chance to score 20% off all Molten products. Head to molten.com.au and use the discount code NJC18. Dave Peters will be with Craig Freeman shortly just to get an insight on the game and how it all played out before presentations will be underway shortly after that. Here's Dave Peters just speaking to his team, just congratulating them on what an outstanding weekend it was, because they played extremely well, exceptionally well throughout the tournament without losing a game. They defeated the Sydney Comets, Woodville and Keilor throughout Pool A before sweeping the finals, defeating Sturt by 22, Hawthorn by 10, and of course here today Kilsyth by 11. If you had to pick a most valuable player for the grand final, Darren, who would be the leading contenders?
I just think that Josh Giddey for the Tigers, you know, he scored as well as brought his teammates into the game. You know, got a piece of that three-point shot, you know, so he was effective on defense as well, and helped bring his guys into the game. You know, obviously, Alferenko had a nice run through the third and fourth quarter, but it just shows the depth of the Tigers. If you know, we're talking about it, Michael Alferenko, who came off the bench and played a significant role. You know, that just shows, you know, what kind of lineup Dave Peters has at his disposal, depending on what's happening in the game.
14 points to Michael Alferenko certainly had a big impact in this contest. Will Tattersall had the 8, Paul Sapatolis the 6. Reece Bray had 7, as did Tajver Shahal. And of course, Harry Bowater had 15. We're going to head courtside now, where Craig Freeman has the head coach of the Melbourne Tigers, Dave Peters.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined by Richard, the assistant coach of the Melbourne Tigers. You've been stitched up a little bit, you're telling me. How come you're here and not the head coach?
I think Dave's either faking it very well or he's legitimately lost his voice. So I'm stepping in. I think I've got to do the speech later as well. So a lot of camera today. So it is what it is. Yeah.
Congratulations on winning the Classic. I saw you talking to the team just then, probably because David can't talk. Still, what were you telling the team, and what does this mean to you?
Look, I just telling them we're a really selfless team. I think for the first time, or one of the first few times coaching, I legitimately believe them when they say we don't care who it is. We don't care who steps up on the day. We got 9 guys that some of them played 5 minutes that at a lot of other clubs they'll be playing 30 minutes, and they know that. And for them to say, look, I really couldn't care less who plays what, who does what, how many shots I get. At the end of the day, if you win the gold medal of the Classic, that's all that matters. And it's a really selfless group, and couldn't be prouder. Yeah.
And how's the weekend gone as a whole? It's tough to play this many games, but how have the boys handled it?
They've done quite well. We've really preached a lot of recovery, a lot of stretching, a lot of drinking water when you're not thirsty, a lot of up and goes, get home, go to sleep, early nights, a lot of stuff that we sort of try and do to get that extra 2% out of them. And look, they've done as well as they can. We really we've rotated fairly evenly because we are quite a deep team, and gave everyone a go. But they've really held up well. We didn't get, I mean, everyone's sort of banged up and bruised, but we really didn't get anyone with any severe injuries or any missing time. So yeah, they've done quite well, considering how much of a hard tournament it is.
Yep. And for the Tigers and yourself personally, what's it mean to win the Classic?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. We spoke about it before the game. The last one we won in 18s, I believe, was 2014, which it does seem like a little while ago. You know, it was only 4 years ago. We've had opportunities since and really let them go. So to get this one, it means a lot. We've got a lot of guys. I think we've got 6 guys that last year won the silver. So a lot of redemption for a lot of them. It's my first gold, Dave's first gold. We've both got a silver and a bronze each. So it means a lot.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for spending some time with us today. Rest up your voice. I know you're going to do one more.
I'm losing it too.
One more speech, but congratulations again. Well done.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks,
Cheers.
mate. Back to Steve in the booth.
Well, thanks very much for that, Craig. Not Dave Peters, in fact. He's dobbed his assistant coach in. So apologies that we thought we were crossing to Dave. But no, thank you, Craig, for that excellent interview. Presentations are about to get underway. But before I wrap it up and send it to your presentations and wrap up proceedings for today, I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us on Basketball Victoria's Facebook coverage. Thanks to Moulton and My Sport Live, whether you watched 1, 2 or even 4 of the games here on Basketball Victoria's Facebook page throughout the National Junior Classic of 2018. I'd like to congratulate all participants, winners, referees and coaches, and all volunteers and members alike, because it's been a fantastic tournament. Of course, we'd like to thank Molten. This is your final chance to get 20% off all Molten products. Head to molten.com.au. Use the discount code NJC20. Today is your final day to get some pretty handy discounts and use that to your leisure. I've been Steve Chalmers, joining you throughout the course of the morning and into the afternoon. Congratulate Melbourne Tigers defeating the Kilsyth Cobras in the under-18 boys grand final. Let's head to presentations now before we wrap it up.
Of course, big congratulations to our referees. Without the referees already our score table, these matches, of course, would not occur. Okay, on to our runners-up to start with, and can we please have, from Kilsyth, Coach Zach.
First off, massive congrats to Melbourne. You guys have proven Tigers once again like the best team from the country. 100% deserves today. I think we played particularly well, but a lot of that respect because you make a lot of teams don't play very well. It's a good surprise. Coaching staff, you guys have taken a drop. You're looking for the next one, hopefully you can have another shot. You're going to be across next time. Thank you, referees. I thought that was really, really well done today. Nice to play. It made for a great game. Thank you to my teammates, as well as the gym. Your work in keeping us organised. Thanks to Rush. Obviously, the amazing assistant coach so far this year. Thank you to all the parents, scoring, building, driving kids around, putting up with our BS after practice and we stay back play. All of our ranks, we really, really appreciate what we do. Thank you to my family, my constitution, what there is out there, when you give to this company result. And lastly, thank you to the players. You guys are amazing. Like we said, Saturday morning, I don't know where we were at, and the turnaround we've had, the mental toughness we have shown over this weekend has been great. Really, really encouraging signs. We've come a really long way so far this year. And I'm really excited to see where we finish up this season. You guys should be really, really proud of yourselves. Really proud of yourselves. Okay, I'll put you guys up. Take off Kilsyth. Robbie Slicer.
guys. A really solid weekend. It's a really difficult weekend. We just spoke to them and said, look, they've got 10 really selfless guys over there. I mean, a lot of the minutes were up and down throughout the weekend. It was different guys on different games, contributing in different ways. And, you know, you hear a lot of players saying, well, I don't care how many minutes I get, how many shots I get, I just want to win. I really do believe these guys when they say that, and it's that selflessness and that team effort that is got them a gold medal. So congratulations, guys. Just to finish up, all the officials for the weekend, the referees, when the referees came on before, and one of the players said to me, what a great goal, we should have refs on that every game. It was that good, so I'm not the referees today. The scorers, everyone is involved. Special mention to Dave Peters, the head coach, who was against history up, and well done to him on a good weekend. And thanks to the supporters, thanks guys. Paul Santolis. Will Tatsu. Michael Alfredo. Archie Manson. Justin Robbins. Josh Hughes. Mason Gates. Lucky Chinock. Reese Bray. Taj Shahal. Dave Peters. Team manager, Nick Bray.
Thanks, Richard. Well spoken. We've got the banner now. Yeah, there they are, ladies and gents. You're underrated the national champs. Well done, the Melbourne Tigers. And before they all disappear, ladies and gents, we've got one last announcement, and of course it is for the MVP. And the MVP does go to a Melbourne Tigers player, and it's number 6, Josh Hughes. Well done, Josh. Oh, Josh thinks of 10,000 photos taken. Ladies and gents, we'll take this opportunity again on behalf of BJBL. Thank you very, very much for your support of the Classic, the way everybody's conducted themselves, a magnificent weekend of basketball. And so wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, stay safe, and we'll see you back here next year. Bye.
get over the top of Anderson.
Get over
Tracks all the way back
Anderson.
in, does. And he's locked in, but what a goal!